We are in North Idaho in a small town called Post Falls. The house was built here in 1910, and so when we moved here, it was just the house and the barn, and we've added several structures since then. We do specialize in cut flower growing. We grow several hundred varieties. We grow a lot of dahlias. This year we have over 8,000 planted in the field. We do a good amount of sunflowers, and then we do a lot of other flowers that are just useful in floral design. So it's very important for me to garden and grow the flowers organically, so we are committed to doing things sustainably. We don't use any chemicals or pesticides. We do use other practices. We release beneficial insects, and we have a flock of ducks that are protein eaters, and so they do a lot of the debugging for us. So we do wholesale to florists. I do a lot of design work myself, and then we use our flowers for picking. So we have a small farm stand on the property that you can get flowers any time of day. We have subscriptions that we offer. Those are available through our website. We do a sip and snip dinner most Fridays throughout the summer. And on that one, we do a charcuterie dinner. We have a local winery that comes and serves drinks. We do a fun dessert. We try to source most of the food and drinks locally. And then everybody gets to go out into the field and cut flowers and do an arrangement and take home. We do a wellness retreat. We also host many private events, so corporate retreats, bridal showers, rehearsal dinners, and some small weddings. So we have a shepherd's hut Airbnb on the property, and I modeled that after the shepherd's huts in the UK with the iconic rounded roofs. My family comes from England, and so it was just special to me to create something like that. So it's a tiny house on wheels, and we call it a luxury shepherd's hut because it does have a king-size bed, fully tiled shower, and workable kitchen. I love hosting events around the farm, which was my main goal in starting the farm. It wasn't so much the flowers, hence the name Sowing Joy. I've had people who have had a lot of tragedy in their life and difficult times, and they'll come on the property, and this has happened more than a dozen times, where they just begin to cry, and so we started calling it flower therapy. They enjoy just coming onto the property, and they come back. A lot of times they'll stay at the Airbnb, and it's just really special to watch the effect that the flowers in the property can have in somebody's life.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Slow Flowers Show. I'm Deborah Prinzing. I'm so thrilled today to welcome Ondrea Kidd of Sowing Joy Farm in Post Falls, Idaho. Hi, Ondrea.
Hi, Deborah. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for saying yes when I asked you if we could record an interview. Just to let everyone know what the big news is, I follow all of our Slow Flowers members, and I just happened to see this announcement pop up in Ondrea's feed that her studio was named one of the top 10 wedding florists to watch by MSN.com. And I was pretty thrilled for you. And I hope I portrayed that correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. They must watch stuff. And so, yeah, they contacted me. Honestly, I was very surprised as well. So it took me a lot of emailing back and forth to make sure it was actually real.
Well, it makes sense in a way that their news, when they do news like that, it's there's a time like why now, but it's beginning of wedding season. So that's probably why that came up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I don't know what that gets you. Maybe some more inquiries, huh?
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Sowing Joy Farm. And would you describe yourself as a farmer-florist or more of a designer who also grows? To give us a little snapshot of where you are in the world of slow flowers.
Yeah. So I started out thinking I was just going to do the farming side and really enjoy. I've always enjoyed growing. So I started with that part. But the more I played with the flowers, the more I realized I enjoyed the design part actually a little bit more. So I end up delegating a little bit more of my farming and playing and designing with the flowers a little bit more.
Who are you delegating to? Do you have a team or
I do
a
have a
spouse?
team. Yeah. Well, no, I have a few employees, and then I also run a local collective of other growers. So we work together.
Oh, wow. And tell us about that.
Yeah, so I kind of started it in our area. There's quite a few flower farmers in our area.
So put yourself on the map for us, Ondrea, at Post Falls, Idaho. I know is it a college town? I feel like I've heard about it before.
We are close to Gonzaga, which is right across the border in Washington, right in Spokane. And I'm maybe 3 miles from that border.
Okay. So the upper part of the state.
Yep. Yep. We're right in between Montana and Washington.
You are. You are. So you mentioned the collective. Is that just something that you saw a necessity and brought a group of people together?
Yeah, I just noticed there was a lot of growers in our area and wanted to create community with that so that we could help each other out, work together. We don't have a very long growing season here. So a lot of us don't grow a lot of flowers, so we can pool our resources and work together and help use those local flowers.
What have you named it?
It's, I guess, Inland Northwest Floral Collective.
Okay.
Long,
Okay, great.
long name.
No, Inland Northwest is sort of a Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho thing. I get that.
Yeah.
Living in Seattle, I've heard that before.
Yes.
Is it at your farm? Is that why you're kind of the organizer?
Yes. Yeah, we do meet here. I'm close to the freeway and kind of easy to get to for a lot of people.
And are you marketing wholesale to florists in the greater Post Falls area?
Yes. Yes. And we're also Cal Flower members, so we can ship as well.
Oh, wow. Are you doing much of that?
Little bit, little bit. I'm growing a little bit more than I expected. So I use most of the flowers at the moment. But yes, we do plan to do that.
So, Ondrea, when did you start Sowing Joy Farm? How long ago did you start?
This is our 5th growing season. So yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to show your website up on the screen so people can kind of get a little bit of a sense of your vibe and what a beautiful collection of flowers and also just information that you've got in here. So this is your landing page. It looks like right now you change this frequently then to talk about what you have depending on the season, right?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
It's actually a brand new website we just put together in February. So
Oh, wow.
we're getting used to it still.
So when people arrive at the landing page, Summer Collection Order Flowers now, you make it really easy for people to just see the size and the selection of each of your picks. But there's sort of grower's choice, I'm imagining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's always a monthly or a seasonal bouquet that's, yeah, all that.
I love the way you have them photographed in front of the frames. That's so smart. Oh, here we go. Farmer Special Fresh Bouquet from $45. So you're actually doing deliveries. You're acting as a local retail florist then?
Yes. Yes. We also ship nationally as well.
Are you shipping full bouquets?
Yes.
Wow. How's that working out?
It's working out great. We've used the Cal Flowers, kind of their resources.
The discount, yeah.
Yep. So that's helped great. And we can get things over there overnight and everything's
That's amazing. Are you finding that you've kind of cracked the code on packaging and hydration and all those things? That's the thing that I think that scares most people.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So far it's been great. Yeah. We use the biodegradable, those little, I don't know, some people call them flower diapers. So we use those and it's so far worked really well. We kind of zip tie it to the box and we haven't had any problems so far.
That's amazing. That's great. Okay. And then you've got local and farm events. So, Oh, okay. So tell me about all these features. You've got private parties at the farm. You have an Airbnb. Uh, I want to know about all these things. Private parties at the farm.
Yeah, we host a lot of different events here at the farm. We do like a Friday night sip and snip dinner. We try to highlight other local vendors, and we have a local winery that comes every Friday,
Oh, beautiful.
and then many private events, a lot of bridal showers, baby showers.
Did you build this beautiful event structure specifically to host private parties?
Yes. Yeah. We did that last year. We kind of started out with just a 10 by 10 tent, and then it grew to a bigger and bigger tent. And so, yeah, we decided to add the structure and the chandeliers because got to have
Why
chandeliers.
not, right? The total, yeah. So it says the total cost to rent our enchanting flower farm is $4,500, which includes at least $3,000 in florals. Um, that's pretty special. Is that competitive in your area, or are there just not other farm venues that people might be able to have a wedding at?
Yeah, it's fairly competitive. I feel like it's very reasonable just because we're new and
Mhm.
we don't have a huge space, so we're limited to only so many cars and that kind of a thing.
Well, like that structure, like what would be the perfect size of um, a 50-person wedding, or what would be ideal for you?
We've had up to 200 because there's a good green space next to it, so we can use both spaces. But usually, like our regular parties are around 30 to 50 people.
Mm, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And then tell me about the Airbnb. I'm going to go back to look the Shepherd's Hut Airbnb. Is that something you have on the farm, a residence?
Yes. Yeah. So my family's from England, and I love the iconic shepherd's huts with the rounded roof. And so I just thought it would be a fun little Airbnb to make. We call it a luxury Airbnb. It is kind of like a tiny home, but it does have a king size bed. So we've got sheep, so you can see out the window.
So these shepherd's huts, I think of them as something that oh yeah, it does have wheels. It's something that you would see in an old kind of Eastern European vignette where someone was, a I don't want to say vagabond. What's the right word?
Yeah.
Itinerant farmer.
Yeah. 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 Well, and that's what they were. The shepherds used to use them out and live in them while they were watching the sheep. So, yeah.
I love it. So when people come and stay, do they get to experience the flower farm, or are you getting more like floral tourism?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. We encourage them to wander the farm, pick their own bouquets. We do a little bit of you pick and private picnics. So yeah, they can wander and just enjoy it.
I think what I'm picking up on is that you're being very creative at multiple channels of revenue to make this dream of being a flower farmer work. Just curious, how did it all come together? You said
Yeah,
this is your fifth season. Have you been on that land longer?
we bought the farm in 2009, so I have 6 kids. And so we, thought it'd be a great thing to do, go buy a farm and raise the kids. And so now my youngest is almost 16 and my oldest is 26. And so as they got older, I just was thinking, what can I do that I can spend my time on and create kind of my dream job with what I already had. So yeah, I just have used what I have, and I've always loved growing. So I started with the flowers. I actually had the idea just driving by a flower farm one day, and I was like, "Oh, I could do that," because I'd always thought, vegetables, that kind of thing, before. So
Right.
yeah, got into the flower farming that way.
What is your growing area? What is the size of your growing area?
I have about 2.5 acres in flowers, and then the
Really?
rest of it, yeah, we do still have a field with the sheep to go with the shepherd's hut. And yeah, and then the house, the old farmhouse, it was built in 1910, and then just the event areas that we
You're living
create.
in the old farmhouse on the site.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So when you talked about delegating and having other people do the farming, are any of your children involved, or is it really a mom thing?
It's pretty much a mom thing. I tried to get them involved, And yeah, it was only 1 or 2 seasons of harvesting a lot of bachelor buttons and sweet peas where they were like, no, not doing it. They do my deliveries, the mowing, and my oldest son actually does work for me most of the time.
Oh, that's fun.
So there's one. There's one. Yeah.
So how does you said it's a short season. So like right now it's for second day of June. Do you have anything to harvest or?
Yeah, so we've finished the tulips and the peonies are just starting. We just got home last night from being gone, and I'm like, gotta go, gotta go pick everything.
Because you can get some really warm days in early June, right?
Yeah. So both the tulips and the peonies, as soon as you get a warm day, you've got to run out there like 3 times a day and grab them.
So peonies are starting to come on. And then will you do a lot of annuals in the summer or?
Yeah, we grow hundreds of varieties. So basically all the annuals. Yeah.
Okay. So I got a little off track when I was looking at your website and focusing on that's your retail side of the business, selling designed arrangements. And then what about the balance between wholesale and retail? Are those your 2 main channels other than the on-farm events?
Yeah. Yes. So wholesale, it's definitely a smaller part of the business. Yeah. And it's mostly just during the really busy season.
To other wedding and event designers or?
Yeah. A lot of them I'm using myself now because we're busy. So
because you're selling to yourself, you're your top priority. Having the collective allows you maybe to someone will have some product for a customer. It may not be you.
Yes, exactly. And I specialize in using local blooms or sourcing as close as possible. So in the off season, I try to still source from farms. So I might go to Oregon, Washington, California to still try to support those local farms.
Is that because now you're putting more emphasis on the design side, you have to pretty much be full service 12 months of the year?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. When do weddings mostly happen though? Either on your farm or at other locations?
Yeah, we usually start around now. We've had, I think, 2 weddings so far this year, and then go through fall's pretty popular here because it's, cooling down a little bit. The weather's still a little bit iffy, but usually through October, we're pretty busy.
Yeah. But it sounds like from now through fall, most of the flowers in your wedding designs will be from the farm.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you'll start having to get flexible on those shoulder seasons.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I love it. What about the on-farm events? It sounds like you are doing some you pick and you're doing some, obviously people book the venue for private parties. Are you doing workshops?
Yes. Yeah. So we do classes, workshops. I do them here at the farm as well as other places. And I also bring other people in to teach. So we do like a paint and sip night and incorporate the flowers. So a lot of times we'll go out and pick the flowers and then we'll come back and a lady will teach us how to paint those flowers, that kind of a thing.
And who comes to those? Are they just people like, have you developed a local fan base where people, whatever workshop you have, they're going to come?
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's a lot of tourism here in our area. We've got a lot of lakes and lots of natural kind of fun. The Coeur d'Alene area is very, really popular to go to in the summer for a lot of people.
You're pretty close to Coeur d'Alene then.
Yeah. We're just
because there's a big lake there. I mean, that's what Coeur d'Alene is, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I got it. So that resort kind of crowd is perhaps coming from another, like Eastern Washington or Seattle or whatever, and they just are there for maybe a week at a time looking for things to do.
Yes. Yeah. So we work a lot with our local areas like the chamber and stuff, and then they help get that word out too.
I think that's so smart. I love it. When you started doing that, did you have any issues relating to, you mentioned parking. So like did you have to get permits and the zoning? What were some of the challenges that you had to tackle?
Yeah, well, thankfully, our property was already zoned for agritourism and agriculture, so we didn't have a lot with that. It's mostly been, yeah, finding room. So it's usually my husband out there trying to figure out where to put all the cars and not make our neighbors mad because we do live on a dead end street. So yeah, trying to be respectful of them, make sure that we're
Yeah, like roughly
not
how many
causing trouble.
events per month will you do this summer?
Oh, probably 8 a month
Wow.
plus private parties.
Wow, that you're busy.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
amazing. Well, I love that. I love that you got this recognition from MSN.com. And when you looked at the list, I didn't look at the list. So were you the only person in Idaho or in the Northwest? Or I'm sure they try to be geographic.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was kind of all over the place. Seems like there may have been somebody in Utah that,
Mm,
I think was the other closest.
next closest.
Mhm.
Yeah. But was it
Yeah.
specifically around wedding? It was around wedding design or just floral design?
It was luxury florists.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you describe your aesthetic, and would you have you used luxury? I mean,
I
it's
do.
great.
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to differentiate myself from the other flower farmers in the area, so there wasn't a competition thing going on, and I really enjoy up leveling things and creating experiences that are, more than people expect.
Hmm.
I feel like one of my main values or things is to cause people to feel valued.
Yeah,
So to add more value to any of whether it's a bouquet or an event.
yeah. The gift of hospitality,
Mhm.
making them feel special,
Mhm.
and also that experience that you're offering, right?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of his experience. Yeah, I want them to feel special, so whether
Yeah.
they're staying in the shepherd's hut or receiving one of the bouquets, we try to make it a little more than they would expect.
That's amazing. When do you get time off, Ondrea? This is this sounds
Yeah,
like a 24/7 operation for you.
it is. My husband and I, we always plan a trip to Mexico in November, and that kind of is our stop season. So, yeah,
That's what keeps you going all summer long.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
"Oh, we
We
can
have
just
that
get to
little treat
Mexico."
dangling there at the at the end. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, back to kind of the specialness of it, what are some of the things that you would suggest people consider adding to their services that would maybe add, it's sort of an intangible in a way. How do you
Yeah.
create that luxury vibe, uh,
Mhm.
in ways that aren't necessarily reflected in the price tag alone?
Right. Yeah. I think it's the little touches. My husband and I were just talking about this yesterday. We went somewhere and they wrote something out in the ketchup on the plate. And it's just, you remember that place. And I can remember I had ordered a book one year and it came and the lady had included a little tea bag. So it's simple, really, really
Mhm,
simple, but
mhm.
it made that feel special. And I remember it. So just
Yeah,
adding those little extra touches, I feel like really makes
yeah.
a difference. Mm.
So, how I think you mentioned your packaging and how you're shipping flowers, but when your presentation is very consistent with the wrap, is it a tissue paper wrap that you're using for
It is
your
a it's a waterproof tissue paper, and we try to stay away from all plastics and all that kind of stuff. We design all sustainably, but those are not, but I feel like they're very reusable.
Yeah.
They're very, very durable. You can even kind of wash them off and use them again.
I've received flowers wrapped in that kind of like a waxy craft paper almost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I do save that and reuse it
mhm,
because it's first of all, looks natural because
right,
the ones that I'm thinking of are
mhm.
craft paper color. But and then the presentation ribbon, what are you using to tie the bouquets with?
Yeah, so we use, it's kind of it's not twine, it's a ribbon, but
Hmm.
it's more of that, I guess it's a jute ribbon
Oh,
or
uh-huh.
something like that.
Has a natural look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
love it. And then when you do local arrangements, what kind of vases are you using?
Well, it kind of depends. I like to design in the lower urns compote style. I really enjoy those. So it depends on what people are ordering. We do custom orders, but our typical one that we have on the website or whatever would be a low compote urn.
Oh, really? Okay. So
Mhm.
it's a little, again, another elevated value over a cylinder, a glass cylinder or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. I love it. Well, what do you have cooking that you want to share with us before the season takes off and absorbs you more than it already has?
Right. Yeah. Well, just more weddings. We love doing the fun big weddings, any sort of fun big installations, that kind of stuff. Yeah, lots more farm events. So that's always going on here on the farm. Yeah, we're just continuing the shipping. We also do we call it Petals of Joy program. So
Yeah,
we
I
give
saw that on
away
your website. What is that?
yeah, so we give away one bouquet for every 10 that we sell. We have a spot where you can kind of vote or let me know who you feel like needs them. So we've given them to teachers, police officers, surgeons that have really helped somebody's child, um, somebody going through cancer treatment, just anybody that maybe wouldn't get the recognition or ever buy themselves flowers or whatever.
Oh,
I just, I love how much power flowers have to bring joy.
so the Petals of Joy is for every 10 that you sell, you give one away. And then are they just for your local community, or sometimes are you find that you're shipping them?
Yeah, either one. So yeah, if somebody lets us know that of somebody that really needs one, then we'll ship it.
Oh, that's so
Typically, we've done
beautiful.
them locally, but we have shipped, yes.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. It's sort of your tithe for flowers.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's nice to have a program too, because then you can kind of put all of your charitable efforts into that particular campaign. And if people are, hitting you up for donations or whatever, you can point to that as your program.
Yeah, yeah, definitely helps.
I love it. I love it. Well, I love that you have gotten this recognition, and I hope that it pays off, especially because, as you said, Post Falls is a destination for tourism. Is it also a wedding destination?
Yeah, yeah, we're finding, especially the last few years, that especially the Coeur d'Alene area has become very big for destination weddings.
Mhm. And so, between your own weddings on your farm and off-site weddings, is it about half and half?
Yes, we also offer an à la carte package. So we do a few of those a week. So people are coming and picking those up. But yeah, we do more outside of the farm where we're doing the full service wedding than we do at the farm.
It's probably okay. It probably balances out just perfectly.
I think so. Yeah.
Ondrea has sent me several photos of her designs. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, check out our show notes at soulflowerspodcast.com for more details. I'll have all of Ondrea's social places so you can find and follow her. And, if I live not too far from you, if I'm coming through, I'm going to come invite myself for a visit. And I'd love to see what you're doing. It looks like such a magical place. So that Shepherd's Hut Airbnb is very appealing to me.
Yeah. Thank you. We'd love to have you. Just come visit us. That'd be great.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you so much. And congratulations on this national recognition. I was so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. Take care.
You too.